Hello and welcome back to another video. This is CraftyRia. Today I'm going to get back to my roots and make some more recycled Christmas cards. I have these two cards. I thought they were festive and I'm going to go with the stocking theme for this video. I have this little card that I'm going to make into a big card, and this big card that I'm going to make into a little card because, you know, I just can't have it be just plain. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and do this one because it's going to be the simpler of the two. I went ahead and picked this card base. This is from that pack of 5x7 cards that I had gotten. It has a green background and it's textured, and I thought it went really well with this. I could just mount it on here just like this and let it be. I don't have to do anything special. But you know, I can't do that. I have to do more. My viewers are expecting it. So let's go ahead and put this together. So I'm going to set the card base aside for just a minute, and I'm going to work with this. I'm going to cut this down a little bit. As you can see, there's some red around this edge, but not so much on this edge. It's a little uneven, so we have to fix that. Plus, I have to cut it in half. So I'm going to cut as close to this red design line as I can. And then I'm going to trim off that edge as close to the design as I can. I like calling it a design line. It makes me feel like a designer. And I think I'm going to take a sliver off of this other side as well, just for good measure. Alrighty. And then I'm going to hold it up on this and see where I'm at. I like to make sure I have a pretty good balance on all four sides, and just by eyeballing it, I think I do. I think it looks pretty good. While I have my cutter here, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the sentiment that I can use on the inside. Let me move this down a little bit so I'm a little more in frame. There. And what I like about this, it has a picture of that one of the stockings from the front of the card on the inside. So it kind of brings it all together. There we go. So we have the sentiment for the inside of the card. Now I need to mat this design, and I'm thinking I will use some of that red construction paper that I have. I think it would go good on it, and then it would still look good with the green. Okay, this piece of construction paper has been all around the block, and it has some really yucky edges, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these off. And I'm going to cut this edge as well, since it has some frayed areas on it. Construction paper is a little harder to work with than cardstock, but it is very inexpensive, and this red construction paper ended up being absolutely beautiful. A perfect color for what I'm doing. So I think I'll go ahead and just cut this at a 1/2 inch shorter, or 1/4 of an inch shorter than the other card. So I want to make it, the card is 7 inches wide, so I want to make it 6 3/4 wide by 5 or 4 3/4, since it's by 5. Let's see how it looks like that. that's what we have there. And let's see which side I like better. And we're going to go ahead and put it on there and see what we're at. I'm going to make this card a little bit smaller just so I do have more balance all the way around. I'm going to take a little bit off the bottom. You can always eyeball these things. I don't always measure to make it perfect. Let me see how that looks before I put my trimmer away. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. I like that. And since construction paper is harder to work with, my tape will stick on it, but the construction paper frays a little bit and comes apart and doesn't stick with tape as well. So I'm going to go ahead and use some art glitter glue on this project. So first I'm going to go ahead and adhere my construction paper down to the back of the card, or to the front of the card, I should say. And I'm just going to put just ever so little bit on the edge. That little piece there is actually a little too much, so I'm just going to move it around with my finger. I don't want any large clumps of the glue. This glue has a fine metal tip on it, so you can get very, very, very little. If you use too much, it can make your paper warp a little or bubble. All right, so I'm going to line up the bottom left and the top right, try to get it even, and then put it down. And then I'm going to adhere this to that, just like that. And again, I'll use the art glitter glue. I wouldn't use art glitter glue for thin paper. I will use it for heavier paper, cardstock, or even the construction paper. I don't like it on very, very thin paper because it makes it wrinkle. All right, and let me get this lined up. It is forgiving. You have just a few seconds to move your item down, but you don't have very long because it dries fast. I'm going to put a little bit under this corner because it doesn't seem to stay down. There we go. I don't use it very often, and you always have to put your pin back in right away, otherwise it will clog up. I found this embellishment, this holly, loose in my stash. It's got like paper crumbs and stuff on it, so it won't stick by itself. So I will have to put some glue, but I thought it would look really cute here on the mantle. Kind of get an idea for it there. And then I also have these red bows from the Dollar Tree. I just got this the other day, and I thought the red bow might look good on each stocking. I think that's what I'll do. Meanwhile, I will go ahead and I will adhere this down. I'm going to use some of this glue. It's already up on foam, so I'm just going to add some of this glue to the foam. Put my pin in. If I can find the hole. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and glue this. I'm going to glue it right above the flowers so you can kind of see the flowers. And that's kind of why I went with this on the larger card. I probably could have cut it down to fit on an A2 size card, but I would have lost a lot of those flowers. And I like the poinsettias on there. Let me grab one of these, see how it looks on the stocking. I think that's pretty good. I'll put one on each stocking. I was going to do a lot of bling on the stockings, but I thought I would just use these instead. I wonder if I could get this one to come up and raise it up a little bit more so it looks like it's coming off the hanger. Yep. That's what happens when you have a nice, oops, I ruined that one, a nice shiny card. Let me get another one. I could probably have salvaged that if I was careful, but you know, I'm not really that careful. There we go. So we have some bling and some stuff at the top of the card. We have some holly on some holly garland and some poinsettias on the mantle, and we have each of the stockings have a bow. I'm trying to decide if I want to put any bling towards the bottom of the stockings or on the bottom of the card. So of course we have to get the bling box. The bling box did not make an appearance in my last video. How about some gold here? On the toes of this one. I'll put another strand here. And I have one left, and I'm going to stick it on one of those flowers. Then I need something on this one. And how about some red, some thin red? I guess I could put a piece of bling in each one of those, but I won't. There's a piece of paper stuck on that one. There. I'm going to pull this down and make it curved a little bit more. And then a piece at this heel. If you guys could see me, you'd see that I'm sticking my tongue out while I'm working. Alright. And then I missed some bling on that heel. So I'm going to have to get some more of this gold bling and put a little piece on that heel. And I have 3 more poinsettias up here that need some bling in the middle. Alright, and one more. And I don't know what to do with that green one. Let me get dig in my bling box a little bit more and see what I could figure out. I have this. No. Maybe nothing for the green one. I have green bling. I could maybe just make it its own toe. Kind of do it on my own here. So there, I have some bling and some bows. So you can just add to your card however you like. Now if this was a card that you had in a box that was not used already, all you have to do is just get some bling and put it on the front, and it'll make it look like you did hard work and you made a card. I think I will mat the center piece, or the sentiment for the inside. And this just happens to be, I have a piece of hair on me, sorry. This just happens to be the right size for matting it, so I'll go ahead and use that. And again, I will use some art glitter glue since I'm using construction paper. And I'm just eyeballing that. And I will trim it by just eyeballing it as well. No need to be fancy. And as you can see from my trimmer, the little pieces of red lint, that's what it is. It's like lint from the construction paper get everywhere. That's why I don't like it with tape, because the tape can peel off, whereas the glue will sink into the fibers and it should hold it a little bit better. We'll see. I'll have to put this to the test. I've been using tape with it. Now, if you want to get fancy, you can even color in the stocking there, but I'm just going to leave it for now. There we go. So we have one card done. Very fancy, very glittery, lots of bling. All right, so that one's done. So let's go ahead and do this one. I'm going to do this on an A2 size card, which is a full sheet of cardstock folded in half and cut in half. So it measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I do have some of those envelopes that are for 4 inches, but I think that's going to be too small for this. So I'm going to use the 4 1/4, and I have several colors of card bases because I'm not going to have a lot of room for matting. So I think I'm just going to pick one. I think this silver, and that's going to be my card base, and it will also be my mat. So I'm going to start by cutting this. Set that aside. So I need it to be a little smaller than 5 1/2, so I can take a sliver off of this side or that side. And I also need it to be 4 1/8 probably by 5 1/8. 5 3/8. Okay. I have to decide where I want the bottom to be. I do want this starfish in there, so I'm going to go ahead and just make my first cut just below that starfish, and then I will measure up from there. Move that aside because I'm going to use that. So I need it to be 4 1/8. Then I know exactly how much of the top to cut off. And then I need this to be 5 3/8. Oops, not 4 3/8. 5 3/8 wide. And then I will measure it up on here and see if I need to do any more trimming. I think that's good. That gives just a small border, a 1/16 of an inch border all the way around, and yet it shows most of the image. I like it. While I have my paper trimmer, I do want to cut Warmest Wishes a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to eyeball this. Just cut it down a little bit. This is going to go on the inside of the card. I thought it was too pretty to not use for the inside of the card. And it has the rest of the beach theme and a little bit of the palm tree on it. Rather than using the sentiment here. I could always cut that sentiment out and use it on another card. I have a box of scraps for that. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down, and for that I will use my ATG adhesive. I don't know why my ATG gun does this. All the time it wraps itself around that little thing. And it's doing it again. And I'm almost out of tape. Please, tape, manage for the rest of this video. Don't mess up on my video. Let's see. No, no, no. Why is it doing this to me? It works fine all the other times. I might have to use my glue. There we go, it's working. I'm almost out of tape, so I'll see how far I can get with it. And then in between videos I will change the tape. I'm going to take off this glob of a piece there because it would leave a lump on my card. Alright, and I'm going to line up the bottom left and the top right corner before I press it down, just to make sure I have an even amount of paper here and here. Alright, and then my warmest wishes will go on the inside. And I think I might, since I have this red handy, I think I'll go ahead and use this red, since the words are red and it'll make it pop. And I just happen to have it handy. And I will use glue on this since it's construction paper. I love the ATG gun, but I don't know why sometimes it does that. It doesn't do it all the time, just when I'm making videos. And then it doesn't even do it all the time, because you've probably seen many of my videos where it didn't do it. Alright, trim this out. And I went ahead and threw those scraps away because the one corner was pretty beat up. And the other piece was too small to save. The construction paper is very inexpensive. I got it at Hollow's Paper Craft in Ohio. It was a big pad of it for like $1.85 or something. Ridiculously cheap. And I think it's the perfect color for Christmas, and it looks fine on the cards that I'm making. I wouldn't use it as a card base or, you know, for any super fancy project, but for Christmas cards that people probably throw away when they get them, why not? Alright, so we have this guy, and it has, I think these are bells hanging off of it. And I'm thinking I want to make it look more like Christmas lights. Or at least make it look like there's Christmas lights hanging off of it. So I have large bling and I have small bling in the multicolor. So I'm just going to hold a piece of this large bling near it and see if that's what I want. I don't know. And I won't know until I play with it. No, I think I might do the small bling. Of course, if I can get the large bling off the card without hurting the card, yeah, I could. I think I'm going to go with the little bling. I might have to order more of this little bling. I'm going to try to put it right along the seam, I guess, of the palm. I don't know what you'd call that. The center. I'm sure there's a name for that. I'm calling it a seam. I'm sure I'm wrong. If you know what that's called, let me know. You know, the center piece that all the leaves come off of. Or even, are they leaves? Fronds? I'm not exactly sure what they are called. There we go. So that kind of looks like maybe a string of Christmas lights on there. I thought that would be really pretty. But we can't just leave it like that. You know, that's not going to do. I have some embellishments that I had gotten out. Let's see, I picked out, I have these little stockings, and then I have this pack, and I thought maybe one of these little birds would look good on it, like this little white bird maybe. Let me see. I don't know that I want to really cover up the starfish. And I have this little guy down here. I could kind of put him and put the bird, but then there needs to be something there too. I don't know what. There's a red bird. Maybe the second stocking there. I'm afraid the stocking's going to be too low. Maybe I'll do that. There. And I think I'm going to stick a dab of glue behind these hangers, so that way it looks like they're hanging and those stay in place. I'm going to have to move the bird down a little bit. There we go. Otherwise it'll cover up my lights. And then you can still see the starfish behind them. There we go. So we have that. And I thought maybe I would put something here or here to take up the white space if I like some of this. Although the inside says warmest wishes, so I'm not sure about that. I don't know. Let me see. I have other stuff in here. Let me see what I have that I might want to put on there on the top and the bottom. I didn't plan this part far out. Maybe I'll just leave it like that, actually. Yeah, I don't really see anything, although, wait, I do see a Happy Holidays in here that I think I like. Of course, it's the hardest one to get out. I have that. I kind of like those green lines on it because they remind me of the palm. I think I'll put it up here in the corner. Have it say Happy Holidays. See if I can get a little bit of tape on the back. There we go. So there we have that. It says Happy Holidays on the top, and on the inside, Warmest Wishes. Still have room to write your name on there. I think that's pretty cute. I like the little birds and the stockings because the birds could be tropical. Alright, so we have that card and we have this one. So I went from little to big and big to little. Thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like what you see, of course, just give me a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe down there. Hit the subscribe button and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, and also please let me know what you'd like to see in the future, if there's anything special that I could make that you might enjoy. Take care, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Go get crafting.